So 9th and 10th verses we'll look at it today. Antaram madanasya nandayasi yairangairanangojvalaih yairbrangavali neelakuntala bharair tasyashayam Tani mani tavamba komalataraanyamodalila grihani Amodaya dashanga guggulu ghritair dhupairaham dhupaye. Ninth one. 10th one is Lakshmi Ujjalayami Ratna Nivahodbhasvattare Mandire Mala Rupa Vilambitair Maniya Mayastambeshu Sambhavitaihi Chitrair Hataka Putrika Karadhritaihi Gavyair Ghritair Vardhitaihi Divyair Deepaganair Dhiya Girisute Santushtaye Kalpatam. So 9th and 10th form the last, not the last two, but yeah, the so this is the 9th and the 10th bijaksharas. First we had 5, and then you have 6. Of the 6, it is ha and la. Ha and la are the two bijaksharas that are presented here in the 9th and 10th verses. And here you see a lot of ra playing around. A lot of ra, rakara. And that is also because of the presence of the ra is present here because of the visarga. The visarga makes the presence of the ra. The refa or the rakara does not, it is not present on its own. So if you look at it, 9th verse, Hantaram madanasya nandayasi yaihi angaihi anangojvalaihi. I'll just share that once. It's very interesting to look at this because probably we'll see why this kind of appears interesting here. Antaram madanasya nandayasi yaihi angaihi anangojvalaihi yaihi bhringavalil neela kuntala bharaihi badhnasi tasyashayam tanimani tavamba komala taranyamodalila grihani amodaya dashanga guggulu ghritaihi dhupaihi aham dhupaye. Dhupaihi aham dhupaye. Lakshmi Ujjalayami Ratna Nivahod Bhasvattare Mandire Mala Rupa Vilambitaihi Mani Mayastambeshu Sambhavitaihi Chitraihi Hataka Putrika Karadhritaihi Gavyaihi Ghritaihi Vardhitaihi Gavyaihi Ghritaihi Vardhitaihi Divyaihi Deepaganaihi Dhiya Girisute Santushtaye Kalpatam. போருமா அப்படின்னு இருக்கு. So there are so many visargas there, and all of these visargas are, if you look at it, this is very interesting in Sanskritam. In wherever the masculine is presented, the visarga is there, and wherever the feminine is shown, there is either akara or ikara. So actually, in many ways,
Tritiya vibhakti இல்லையா அது?
Tritiya vibhakti, ஆமா. So here the way the idea is presented, Adi Shankara has now brought the idea of Shiva and Shakti together here somehow, because a lot of reference here to Devi is made with Shiva. So that is how and then the Visarga becomes the Rakara. And everywhere it is, of course, in Sanskritam grammar here, in terms of Divyaihi, Gandhaihi, Dhupaihi, it means it is with it. So here the third vibhakti is used to show the with or the by.
Karana.
Karana. the with or the by aspect of the shabda. So I am doing with this, with this, with this, so that with this or by this, that is becoming the, and because it is, the words are are feminine words here, they are taking this form gandhaihi, dhupaihi, and because of that, when they are coming in the sandhi, the visarga drops and the refa remains. And it's also very interesting. See, very, very subtle things that that kind of surface out, right? Which is true when Shiva and Shakti come together, or essentially when it's perceived, what you perceive is the Shakti. You don't see the Shiva. Shiva goes hidden. Shiva goes hidden. Amrutanubhava அப்படின்னு ஒரு work, Jnaneshwara. I told you I read about Jnaneshwara now recently. And there he describes about how Shiva and Shakti, the presence of them, it's because of Shakti that Shiva is known. Shiva is even known because of Shakti. See, the unknown becomes known because of a name that is there. Even when you're pointing to a name to say this is Shiva, that name is Shakti actually. Because Shiva itself does not have expression. Shiva doesn't have expression. Shiva is only the underlying conscious principle. The moment you give it a name, in fact, the name Shiva itself is Shakti in principle, Shakti in action, Shakti in movement, Shakti there. So you can't, when Shakti comes, Shiva immediately is hidden. So in this whole thing, you see, it is very beautifully that is kind of being played out. So, antaram madanasya nandayasiyaihi angaihi anangojvalaihi. And when we break it that way, again, we are bringing the Shiva out there. When we are bringing the Visarga. We say it without the Visarga, there is only Shakti there. Antaram madanasya nandayasi yair angair anangojvalair yair bhrangavali neela kuntala bharair badnasi tasyashayam. So it goes like that. Right? So, yeah, Sadashiva Paryanka Nilayam. So he is the Paryanka, which is the underlying substratum. Sadashiva Paryanka Nilayam. So what is the 9th verse is about? 8th verse, if you recall, was about flowers, various kinds of flowers. The 7th was about the different lepana, or the anointments, so the anointing that we were doing on Devi. We're anointing various kinds of kunkuma, chandana, turmeric, fragrant substances. Then we were dressing her up with a lot of beautiful flowers. Jati, champaka, champeya, kusuma prabha. So a lot of flowers we were decorating her. Now in the 9th verse, we are giving her a lot of fragrant substances directly fragrant substances, which are dashang guggulu ghritaihi dhupam dhupairaham dhupaye. So these fragrant substances are shown as a dhupa. It is not applied. There are two forms, right, in which you apply. Like for example, you have a moisturizing cream which is fragrant, you apply it, and then you put the spray on you, the perfume or the deodorant. So that is a different form. Or you apply sambrani, for example. Sambrani is dhupam, it's just a smoke form. But fragrance in the smoke form, and fragrance here in the form of ointment or paste. So in the 8th verse, it was, or the 7th verse was fragrance as paste applied on the body. In the 8th verse, it was fragrance in the form of flowers. In the 9th verse, fragrance in the form of dhupam. Dashanga Guggulu. There are 10 different kinds of ingredients, and Guggulu is a particular fragrant tree. All of these 10 ingredients are put together, and I am doing this as a dhupa. To who? That is explained above. Antaram madanasya nandayasi. Yaihi anangojjvalaihi. You are the wife or you are the one whose husband burnt Ananga. Antaram. He killed who? He killed Smara. He killed Manmatha. He killed Manmatha because he was doing. He was coming and disturbing him. Manmatha was disturbing Shiva, so he killed Hantaram Madanasya Madana Manmatha Madanasya Nandayasi Yaihi Angaihi Anangojvalaihi. This Manmatha has given you a beautiful form. That form, he has given you a beautiful form, and your form is it is like Ananga, which means your form. So there are two ways in which it's being played out here. Ananga is a name given to Manmatha also. Ananga is Manmatha's name because Manmatha, when he got burnt by Shiva, Shiva was infuriated that Manmatha was disturbing him. He burnt him. And then Rati Devi, Manmatha's husband, wife, went to plead with Parvati. And then Parvati gave life back into Manmatha, but this time he doesn't have a form. He existed in a disembodied form. And which is why he says Manmatha plays in the minds of people because it doesn't have a form particularly. In whatever form Manmatha can put himself and cause that stir of desire in us. So here he is Hantaram Madanasya Nandayasi Yaihi Angaihi Anangojvalaihi. Your body is now equivalent of many Manmathas, the beauty of many Manmathas, and it is Ujjvala. Ujjvalaihi. It is shining. Such a form, Yaihi Bhringavali Neelakuntala Bharaihi Badhnasi Tasyashayam. You have bound Shiva's mind, Tasyashayam. Tasya Ashayam. His desires have been bound by Badhnasi, bound by Bhringavali Neelakuntala Bharaihi. Your Kuntala or your hair, which is like a line of Bhringavali, a lot of bees that are traveling together. When bees travel together, even if they go in very they move in very rapid movements, they don't go in a straight line, but they go together. They'll always go like a thick line of uh, bees that will go just together. The formation is, it looks like a very uniform formation, and it'll move. It feels like a single entity is moving. All the bees will move together like that. So he's saying your Bhringavali Neela Kuntala, your black hair, your dark hair, Kuntala, is like the Bhringavali. Bhringavali, you see, Avali means collection. Avali is a collection. Bhringa, bees. A collection of bees when they're moving together. Your hair tresses are like that. Badhnasi tasya shayam. Kuntala bharaihi. With the filled up hair, you are tying down. With the hair, you're tying down the asha or the desires or the mind of Isha. Tasyaha. Tasyashayam. Tasya ashayam. Whose mind are you tying down with your tresses? The one that I've described above. Madanasya Nandasi Hantaram. The one who is killed Madana. The Madana who has given you such a beautiful form has made you so pleasing, so attractive. That Madana, the one who killed, he is bound by you. See the interlace of Shiva and Shakti here. So Shakti is presented as Shiva, the one who is the one whose beauty. So Shiva is presented as one who has killed the one who gave her the beauty, and whose stresses have bound his mind. So you are the Shakti of that Shiva. Hmm? Tani imani tava amba komala tarani mo tarani amoda leela grahani. Amoda means, again, it's a strong smell. Amoda means also to rejoice or to be joyful. Amoda also means a strong smell. Tani imani tava amba. All of this imani, all of this tani imani, all of this is komala tarani, which is very gentle form of yours. Amoda leela grahani. This is all. It is as though it is a leela. It is your play, O mother. All of this is your play. And you are playing this in your premise, in your uh, in your griha, where you are placed. Grihani. Amodaya dashanga guggulu ghritehi dhupam aham dhupaye. So I am making a dhupam which is made up of dasha anga guggulu, different kinds of fragrant trees, ingredients. I'm bringing it together. I'm putting it, mixing it along with ghee, and this I am now making it into a dhupa and then offering it to you as a dhupa. So first, in this thing earlier was alepanam, then it was pushpam, then now dhupam, then next will be deepam, then nevedyam, and so on and so forth. The shodashopachara. Right? So this, we spoke about it. So the whole thing is about invoking Devi and doing a whole shodashopachara to her mentally. So hantaram madanasya nandayasi yaihi bhringa yairangair yair bhringavali neela kuntala bharair badhnasi tasya ashayam. Tani mani tavamba komala taranyamoda leela grahani amodaya dashanga guggulu ghritaihi dhupam aham dhupairaham dhupaye. With this kind of dhupa, I am doing dhupa for you. This kind of dhupaihi aham dhupaye. I am doing dhuparadhana to you. The 10th one is Lakshmi Ujwalayami Ratna Vihot Ratna Nivahot Bhaswattare Mandire Mala Rupa Vilambitair Mani Mayastambeshu Sambha Vitaihi Chitraihi Hataka Putrika Karadhrutaihi Gavyair Ghृतैर Vardhitaihi Divyair Deepa Ganair Dhiya Girisute Santushtaye Kalpatam. So here now he is talking about the deepam that is offered to Devi. So dhupam ache, now deepam. So what is this deepam? Lakshmim ujwalayami ratna nivahod bhaswattare mandire. In your nivasa, in your home, in the place where you are staying, there is this beautiful Lakshmim ujwala. Your whole palace, O Lakshmi, is ujwalayami. I am brightening your palace. Ratna nivahod bhaswattare mandire. In this temple or abode that you are in, this again, Lakshmi ujwalayami. Ujwalayami means I am brightening it. How? Because in my mind I am doing this whole thing is kalpana. As kalpana. Ratna nivahot, by visualizing Ratna in your abode, in your mandira, there are many precious gems. Mala rupa vilambitaihi. So there are garlands of so these precious gems are made to hang like garlands. Mala rupa vilambita vilambitaihi mani maya stambheshu sambhavitaihi. Around the stambha, around the various pillars in your abode, these lamps are hung like garlands. Mala rupa. As in the form of mala, these. So now visualize how we decorate our house during Navratri or Deepavali. So there's various hanging lights and all that we put, right? LED lights and all of that. Of course, this is the time when Adi Shankara wouldn't have seen LED lights. You would have imagined these are diyas that you burn, but you create such formations, right? You hang the diya, somehow you hang them in a certain way, and then you're able to create a mala like structure so that it looks like a garland. Mala rupa vilambitair mani maya stambheshu sambhavitaihi. The sambhavana of a mala is there around all the pillars. And then what else is there? Chitrair hataka putrika karadhritaihi. In their hands, Chitrair hataka putrika. These are statues of women. Putrika. Putrikaha, women statues are standing there. Karadhritaihi, in their hands, they have gavyair ghritair vardhitaihi. They are having um, lamps made up of gavya ghrita. Gavya ghrita is what? Cow's ghee. The cow's ghee is used as the as the substance to light up the lamps. So in the previous one also ghrita is used. In the previous verse also there is ghrita, where ghee is used in the dhupa. Now ghrita is used for the deepa. In the previous one he says घृतैर धूपैरहम धूपये गुग्गुलु घृतैहि. So there is ghee used in as one of the ingredients, where I am trying to bring all the fragrant substances together to create a dhupa for you. Now the deepa that I am lighting up for you is also made of a gavya ghritaha. Gavya ghritaha is used. Ghrita is used there as the substance to light up the lamps. So it says the chitrair hataka putrika karadhritaihi. In their hands, karadhritaihi, in their hands they are holding. Who are holding? Chitra hataka putrika. These are statues of women, ladies. We have seen this in outside palaces and outside big establishments. You will see in cultural places, you will see a lady standing with her hand and palms open like that. Then there will be a lamp there, right? எதனா பாவை வழக்குன்னு சொல்லுவோமா கவி? பாவை வழக்கு. So such structures are there around your abode, O mother, and there are these ladies who are putrika, who are standing there and holding these lamps in their hands. So as though so look at this. First is the ratna. There is ratna around the palace. It's already bright, it's illumined. Ujjwalehi, ratna. And then you have mala rupa diya. There are garland like diyas that are there. And then on top of that, there are these ladies who are standing with a lot of lamps. With all of this, I am doing Deeparadhana to you. I'm doing Deeparadhana to you with Divyaihi Deepaganaihi Dhiya Girisute Santushtaye Kalpatam. May you be pleased by this, O Girisuta, O daughter of Himavan, of Himagiri, I am doing Divyai Deepai Ganehi, Deepa Ganehi, Divya Deepa Ganehi, which means it's a constellation of Divya Deepa, of divine or sacred or beautiful Diya Deepa. It's a constellation. Gana means a class. Deepa Gana, which means I'm bringing all the Deepas together. What kind of Deepa? Divya Deepa, divine lamps. Bringing all of these divine lamps together to offer you Diya Giri Sute. I'm offering it to you as a Deepa Radhana. O Mother Santushtaye Kalpatam. May you be pleased by this. So when you are now visualizing, first we visualize the Dhupam and now we are visualizing Deepam. So in the first few verses, the earlier few verses, it was about how we are enhancing the fragrance and creating the association of fragrance with Devi. Which means whether you think about, you smell kunkumam, chandanam, bhasmam, gopika chandan, or manjal, all of this, we should remember the divine presence of the divine should be experienced. So many would have heard this stories about Satya Sai Baba's devotees. Suddenly you will see they'll experience the fragrance of vibhuti, bhasmam. These are experiences. People have experiences of suddenly smelling. There'll be nothing in the environment, but suddenly they'll smell. They'll have the experience of smelling or the fragrance of bhasmam, vibhuti, or chandanam. So all of these are associated. So we are creating associations of these so that the next time when we smell somewhere some of this, the mind goes there. Remember, all of these are techniques so that you create these. You're creating yourself in a way that all you do is to continue to think about Bhagavan. Continue to think, continue to think, continue to think. Like how Bhagavad Gita he said, Nitya Dhyanam. So you do Nitya Dhyanam. Not doesn't mean that you do, I mean, of course you do Abhyasa. But then the aim is to slowly get to a place where whenever I see something, I smell flowers. I smell beautiful, gentle champaka, kusuma, jasmine, all of these flowers I smell, I'm reminded of Devi. I'm reminded of the divine. Then when I smell these substances, kumkuma, chandana, turmeric, all of this, I think about the divine. Then dhupam, when I'm thinking about various substances that are used for dhupam, sambrani, some of these substances that are used, I think about the divine. And then when there is light, when there is diya, wherever I see lamps, I think about the divine. So these substances are all available to us on a daily basis. So Adi Shankara has created this whole work in a way that even if these things are not available, you have experienced it somewhere once at least. You'll go to one temple once, you would have at least experienced or known some of these things. Then come back and then sit and close your eyes and keep offering it to her. Why are temple areas kept in a certain way? Because it should invoke the presence of the divine within us. It should invoke those such thoughts, such ideas. It should invoke that. So when we try to use some of these substances, it should help us bring our mind, elevate our minds. Like I said earlier, all of these things on the outside, we do this so that we use these as tools to elevate the mind. Of course, we get to a place later where these things don't matter really, right? If you talk about realized masters, these things don't matter. But we are talking about whatever tools possible I can use now. Let me use those tools that are available. I use these tools to elevate my mind so that my mind remains in that place. It's very easy for it to fall down. It's very easy for the mind to fall down into our regular daily transactions. Then I use some material to recollect. So like even if you put kumkumam or vibhuti or chandanam, whenever this fragrance comes, the mind should go there. Right? So this one, the 10th one is Deepa Radhana. So when you see Samo Deepam, you keep a Deepam, think about Devi, you think about Bhagavan. And you're doing an Aradhana to him or her through the light of the fire. Because that is the purest form of light. Light of the fire is the purest form of light. Because it burns off all negativities and it gives light. Burns off all negativities and gives light. So it does its dual purpose. So Deepam Divyai Deepa Ganehi Dhiya Girisute Santushtaye Kalpatam. So those are the two verses today. Let's chant that once and we'll close today. Hantaram Madanasya Nandayasi Yairangairanangojvalaihi Yairbhringavali Neela Kuntala Bharair Badhnasi Tasyashayam Tani Manitavamba Komala Taranyamodalila Grihani Amodaya Dashanga Gugulu Gritair Dhupairaham Dhupaye लक्ष्मीमुज्ज्वलयामि रत्ननिवहोद्भास्वत्तरे मन्दिरे मालारूपविलम्बितैर्मणिमयस्तम्भेषु सम्भावितैः चित्रैर्हाटकपुत्रिकाकरधृतैः गव्यैः घृतैर्वर्धितैः दिव्यैर्दीपधिया दिव्यैर्दीपगणैर्धिया गिरिसुते सन्तुष्टये कल्पताम् ॐ कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सदाशिवायेति समर्पयामि जगदम्बिकेति समर्पयामि सद्गुरुनाथायेति समर्पयामि हरि ओं तत्सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओं हरि ओं
हरि ओम सर
हरि ओम महोदय।